All right, welcome everybody to the Down and Dirty at 1:30 Central Time. And I'm here in Branson, Missouri, southern Missouri in the U.S. My name is Vishawn Borich, for those of you who haven't met me before, and this is your first hangout to attend that I do. I do these every Monday at 1:30. We call them the Down and Dirty, and we just have a blast. We try to share with you, or I try to share with you, something of value that can help you in your life and your business, ideally both, right? So today I have a presentation I put together that was based on a conversation that I had with somebody who attended last week's Down and Dirty. So I want you to know I do listen to you all. So if you have ideas for different topics that you'd like me to cover, or maybe a training that you would like to help you in your business or to expand your business online, then I encourage you to comment below. You'll see there's a chat window there, and you'll have to log in. It's free to log in, and then write in there, your question, or you can always also email me. You can reply to any of my emails. I do check those, and I'll be happy to include you or consider your topic for my next Down and Dirty at 1:30. So I'm going to be flipping my screen around here because I did once again put together a presentation. And this is a pretty big one because a lot of people have asked me this question. So let me flip it around and we will get started. All right, hopefully everybody can see this. If you're having trouble, let me know. Some of you that are on my team, if you could shoot me a Facebook message, that way I know that that you can hear me, number one, and number two, that you can see my screen. That would always be helpful. All right, so today's topic is why other people are succeeding and you aren't. And more importantly, how to change that. So I think that if any of you have ever had your own business, or if you currently are in your own business, this has probably crossed your mind. You might see somebody who's doing the same business and they suddenly are, achieving great success, the type of success that you want for yourself. And for whatever reason, you haven't got there yet. So I wanted to share with you that it's okay if you're in that spot. And I also want to share with you that there is a way to get out of that spot and start having success as well. All right, so this is a really powerful hangout today. So I hope you have note paper ready, because you're going to learn some things that potentially could change your life. At least that's my goal. It changed my life personally when this happened. So I know, I meant to say earlier, and I didn't even bring this up. I'm going to flip it back around because I'm silly like that. Give me a second. I have to tell you something because it's really, really funny to me. Give me a second. I'm trying to flip it back around. All right, so usually I'm not this casual. I did come from corporate America, but today is such a gorgeous early fall day here in southern Missouri that at lunch, I took my two dogs. I have two Humane Society mixed breed dogs. And, I took them for a nice long walk. So I've got my hat on, and this hat is probably my favorite. I don't know if you can see it. It says "One Tough Chick." So it's like my favorite hat. And tough to me means that you are tough, like mentally tough, physically strong. Unstoppable, which means you can do anything, right? Fearless, because fear is the thing that you want to overcome, right? And then free. Free means you can do anything with your life that you want. So that's kind of how I feel about life. And I wanted to share that with you at the very beginning of the call, and I kind of forgot to do that. So back to the presentation here. So going back to that, I hope you guys are enjoying my candidness. I'm really pretty informal most of the time anyway, because I feel that's the best way to be, because it's kind of boring if you are always doing things that are very corporate and stiff. And most people are used to that. You're used to everything being PC and stuff like that. So I'm going to move on because I'm going to ramble if I keep this up. All right, so today we are going to be sharing with you, here's the overview. We're going to share 5 things that successful people do every day. And these are simple things that you can do if you aren't doing them already. And the second thing I'm going to share with you is a litmus test to see how close you are to success. There's a test you can take, and we're going to go through it, that basically is going to show you where you are on the spectrum of success. And once you know where you are, it's going to help you in determining, okay, what do you need to change in order to reach success more quickly? Really, really powerful stuff. And then finally, I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can turn things around for you. So if you're not having success, these are some things you can start doing that could potentially lead to success. Now, before I continue, I want to be very clear. I am not a magic woman, okay? I cannot instantly wave a wand and then you will have success and millions of dollars come into your bank account. I wish I could do that. That would be really amazing. But there are no guarantees in business, as you know. There are no guarantees in life. And I cannot promise you that you're going to do the things that I share with you today. I don't know your personality. I don't know how your work ethic is. I don't know what you've got going on in your life. So I want you to, to listen to this stuff, and then you personally have to decide if you're going to implement it. Okay, but don't come back to me and say, you promised me you would show me how to reach success, and I haven't hit it yet, because I'm probably going to ask you a lot of pointed questions that may make you feel a little uncomfortable if you ask me that. So I just want to be clear. I am the tough mama for a reason. I like to go straight to the point. So, but I will tell you that if you truly want success and you start following these things are going to start changing for you in a positive way. Okay. All right. So let's press on. So 5 things that successful people do. Let's start off here. And these are things that I've asked people that are doing really well financially and personally, what do they do on a regular basis? So I didn't just pull this from thin air. I actually ask people this. I go to conferences, I go to masterminds, I talk to people, and I've learned that these things seem to be universal with all successful people. And I want to be clear too, success doesn't necessarily mean money. It also means just in life in general. It means being happy with where you are and what you're doing. And so, if somebody is a really wealthy person, but they're miserable, to me, they are not successful. All right, pressing on. Okay, number 1, meditate. A successful person meditates daily. Now, what does meditation mean? Some of you may never meditate, or maybe you don't think that that's something that you want to do. Meditate means to really get clear on your intentions and your vision. And the way that you do that is by having some introspective time in your life in which you don't have, you're clearing your mind. You're not in the middle of stress. Most people do not do anything about all the stress and things that are going on in their life. They just think that's part of their life. Successful people realize that in order to end the stress and to end the negative spiral that happens when you're under stress, that they have to meditate. And a meditation can be taking a walk like I did today with my dogs and just, being one with my thoughts. Or it could be the whole being seated in lotus position and actually focusing on your breath. I actually do both. But it's really just about going within and being in a peaceful place where nobody's going to interrupt you, and that you can just try to focus your thoughts on one thing. Okay? So if you start doing that daily, you'd be surprised at how much this changes your life. All right, the second thing, write down your goals. All right. A lot of people say they have all these goals, but they never actually write them down. And until you write them down, they don't become real goals. They're just ideas. So write down what your goals are that you want to hit. Once you have them written down, read them daily. I'm serious. I have talked to multiple successful people, and every one of them has their goals written down. It's usually, 3 to 5 goals that are like they're big goals that they want to hit within the next year or within the next 90 days. Okay, they write those down. I've actually spoken to some of them in which they have recorded them. They pulled out their smart device, their smartphone or an audio recorder, and they recorded themselves speaking their goals. And I actually started doing this too, and I find it really, really helpful to helping me achieve my goals. And I actually listen to it daily. I listened to it today while I was walking my dogs. So by listening to that, it reinforces where you're headed. And another thing you can do is there was somebody, actually, Paulo Barroso. Some of you may know him. He's part of our group, part of Freedompreneur Academy. Really, top leader. He had mentioned on a mastermind that I was at that he wrote down his goals on a little card, like a business card size piece of paper, and he keeps it in his wallet, and he reviews that on a regular basis. And I thought that was really cool because it's always at the ready, and it's a way so that he could focus on his daily goals. So just some thoughts on that. All right, the third thing, successful people have a strong belief in themselves. Their belief is so strong and their vision is so big that it's so big that they don't even care what others think. Okay, it's too big to care. And that's really key, because it's so easy for those that are closest to us, especially, such as your family, best friends, etc., to tell you that what your dreams are not going to be achievable, or to tell you, maybe you should change your goals, but it's just not going to happen. A lot of people do that because they say that you aren't going to reach your dreams because they themselves haven't been able to reach their dreams. Okay, so don't listen to people who haven't reached their dreams. Now, if they've reached their dreams and they're doing really well, and it's someone that you admire, then you might take their suggestions. But I want you to know that everybody's journey is different. So don't feel like somebody close to you who is telling you, or it could even be a spouse, who's telling you that you can't do something, or this is costing too much money, or I'm not seeing your success, or whatever it is that they're throwing out at you. You need to have a vision so big that you don't care what they think. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It doesn't mean that you don't listen to them, or it doesn't mean that you're rude to them. It just means that your vision is clear. Your belief in yourself and your ability is beyond what they are saying. So I hope this helps you. For some of you, I've had people come to me and say that their spouse doesn't believe in them, or is having trouble supporting them in their business. I want you to realize that your vision is so important. Everybody has a purpose here. And if it's your spouse, you really need to sit down with him or her and have a heart-to-heart and say, look, I know this is taking longer than perhaps the time frame that you would like it to be on. However, my vision is so strong and my belief in myself is so strong. I have no doubt that this will come to fruition. Just be patient with me, because this is what's going to happen as I start achieving my goals. And I'd be surprised if they didn't support you, if they realized how strong your belief is. Because when you have that in your heart, it just expands outward. And people can't help but support you because they're so excited that you have that belief. Where people come after you, and I didn't really mean to go off on this, but it's so important, is people come after you with your belief is when they can sense that you don't believe in yourself. Think about that. If somebody is coming after you or giving you a hard time about your dreams, it's because they sense that you don't believe you can hit it either. And they're just trying to reassure you that it's okay to fail and step away from it. Okay? So I'm going to press on. Otherwise, I'll stay on that topic for a long time. It's a really near and dear one to me. All right, the fourth one successful people do is they take daily action. Okay? So they're taking action towards their goals. You can't just have these goals and say them every day but not take action. So make sure, if you want to be successful, you actually are taking action. And the fifth thing successful people do is they cultivate a positive attitude. They don't hang out with people that are negative, okay? And they don't get down on themselves as often as somebody who's not successful. they strive to give themselves positive affirmations so that they keep pressing towards their goal. And the way that they do that is by working on mindset and listening to positive audios and going to events and surrounding themselves with positive people. You have to do that in order to go towards your goals. Okay? All right, so those are 5 things successful people do. So I want you to consider this. The emotions that you perceive in yourself are what you are projecting to others. Okay, the reason I want to bring this up is because a lot of times, if you're not having success, when you start meditating or go for that long walk or whatever, listen to your emotions. How do you feel right now? How do you feel today? Okay, however you feel right now in this moment, whatever perception you have of that, that's what you are subconsciously projecting to other people. Okay, and you actually are causing yourself to not be successful if you are projecting negative things. Okay, so here's where the rubber meets the road. Okay, we're going to go through a litmus test to help you in changing those perceptions, changing your emotions, so that you can project something more positive and attract more of that into your life. Okay, this is really getting deep, but this really works. Okay, all right, so do you honestly feel, this is a question for you, do you honestly feel that you are doing everything possible to be successful? Okay, this is important because you got to kind of take inventory. You got to step back every now and then if you're not having success and really evaluate if you are doing everything that you need to be doing to be successful. Or are you just messing around? Like if I were to look over your shoulder today, if you have your own business, would I be proud of you? Would I be proud of what you're doing? Would I be impressed with the work ethic that you're putting towards your business? Or would I say, wow, get off Facebook, you're on there way too much? I mean, I'm being serious here. I'm being a little tough on you, but if you don't take inventory of what you're doing in your day-to-day life, then you're not going to be successful. Okay? All right. So if you answered yes, that you really are doing everything possible, like if I were to look over your shoulder and you say, yeah, you're going to be really impressed with everything I've accomplished today or everything I've accomplished in the past week, then it's your vibration. Okay, that's what's holding you back. But your vibration is the energy that you are projecting out into the world. Now, this is deep stuff, and I want to share a personal story with you before I move on. I was on a call 2 years ago, maybe a little less than 2 years ago, with some of my mentors. It was a hangout similar to this, and they opened up the floor for questions, and basically the hangout had to do with success, and they were kind of highlighting some people in our company that had had a lot of success. And they opened up the floor for questions. And I asked a question of the group. And the question that I had was, what do I do? It seemed like all the people that are prospects for my business don't have 2 dimes to rub together. Basically, I was saying that I was just attracting people that really didn't have the money to invest. And so I was really feeling like I was frustrated. Okay. And here I was expecting kind of step by step, okay, here's how you solve that. But instead, I got a very simple sentence back. And that sentence was, I need to change my vibration. And at first I got kind of mad because I felt like, wow, that doesn't sound like what I wanted. I mean, what the heck does that mean? First of all, I mean, what does it mean to change your vibration, and how do you even do that? And I was so frustrated on that day. I didn't even ask any more questions because I didn't want to come off as negative. So I just want you to hear that story because now I understand it. I understand what it means, and I have changed my vibration, and I am attracting the level of success that I want. And it continues to grow too. The more that my vibration raises, the more success that I started experiencing and that I continue to experience. So wouldn't it be cool if you knew how to change your vibration? I hope so, and I'd love to hear your comments. I can't answer them right now because I have trouble doing two things at once. I'm one of those people that believe in focusing on one thing at a time. I think that's the way we are meant to be, not try to multitask all the time. So if you comment below, I will answer you as soon as the presentation is over. So hang out a little bit afterwards and I'll answer those questions. I'm going to teach you right now how to change your vibration. But the first thing I want you to learn, what we need to learn, is to see where you are on the vibration spectrum. Okay, so I want you to think of yourself or your life or everyone actually as a speedometer. Okay, this is your speed gauge on a vehicle. In this case, this is like a boat gauge. So it goes from 0 to 100. Okay, 100 would be you are vibrating at a super high level. I mean, you are attracting things that you just can't even believe are coming into your life. And you're just at a state of bliss. Okay. And then on down the scale, the 0 or below 0, we're going to even talk about a vibration that's below 0. You are at a very, very low level. And you are vibrating at such a low level and you're projecting such energy out into the world that people don't want to be around you. Okay. So you literally, based on where you are on this speedometer, are projecting that unconsciously to others. Now, I know you know this. You may think I'm, off in la la land here, because at first when I started learning about this, I thought, oh my gosh, this is crazy, hippie stuff. Okay, I'm just be honest. I'm the tough mama. I got to say crazy stuff like that. But I thought that at first. But the more that I learned about it, it's true. Have you ever been around somebody and perhaps they're trying to sell you something or give you something or talk to you even, and you just get this feeling like you don't want to be around them? You just don't feel good about the conversation. It's not, you can't put your finger on what it is that they said, but there's something about their face, their body language, maybe the way they move their hands, or maybe it's, you can't even notice that. Maybe you just get this weird feeling and you just don't want to be around them. Okay, that is vibration. That's energy. That person was projecting a energy, a vibration that was not compatible with you in the level that you were vibrating. Okay, so here's the thing: like vibrations attract like vibrations. So if somebody is vibrating at a really high level, in other words, you're at a level of bliss, then you are not going to attract somebody that is in the level of fear, because the opposite of love and bliss is fear. So if somebody's in that state, you're not going to want to be around them, and they're not going to want to be around you. And the types of things that are attracted to fear-based people is not going to be attracted to you at the love and bliss base. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. And if you don't believe me, go to my blog at toughmamablog.com, and I did a whole series of experiments on energy, because I was really curious if we have energy, if we project energy, if we receive energy. I wanted to test this out before I started talking about it. And it's been a few months since I did this, but I did a series of 9 experiments based on energy from a book called E Squared by Pamela Grout. Fantastic book, by the way. And I went through it and I did a video for each one. I tested the experiment myself, and I came up with all kinds of amazing things that happened during the time frame in which I did these experiments. And I have no doubt, without a doubt actually, that we are made of energy, we project energy, and we can control energy. And if you know that, you literally can flip the switch and become more successful, more abundant, almost overnight. Okay, so let's press on. So we're going to calibrate your energy right now. We're going to see where you are on the vibration stage. All right, so I think I missed one here. Yeah, we did miss one. give me just a second. I've got one, but I don't know why it disappeared. Well, I'll just say at the very top of the level is not this one. This is 95 miles per hour. Okay, the very top of the level is 100 miles per hour, and that's bliss. That's the joy, the knowledge. So you are in a sense of joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, appreciation. That is the very top of the vibration test, okay? And I think I actually moved the slide to the bottom, so for the 100, because that's where we all want to be. If we can get to that level of bliss, then we're going to have such a high vibration that we actually are projecting more of that into our life and attracting more into our life. Okay, so the next one down from bliss is passion. And passion is where you head from, you know, when you know what your purpose is and you are passionate about achieving that. And so, you know, that's the next level down from bliss. Okay, so now we're going down the spectrum, and what I want you to be thinking about is, as I go through these, and there's quite a few of them, there's actually 22 different levels. I want you to write down the ones that the emotions that you're feeling right now, and you know, just have a pen and paper handy, write them down, and then when we're done going through all of them, circle the one that you feel the most right this moment in time. And that's going to tell you where you are in your vibration. Now, it will change. I will tell you, we are not always going to be at a level of bliss. And I'm going to tell you how to kind of handle that. You know, when you are in some of the lowest levels of vibration, how do you change that so that you don't stay there? And to be clear, before we move on as well, your vibration is your most predominant thought. So it's the thing that keeps going through your head throughout the day. It's rolling around in there. So if you're constantly feeling bliss, or you're constantly feeling passion, in the case of what I got on my screen right now, then you probably are at that level. Okay? All right, let's go to the next one. Going down from there is enthusiasm. So this is the 90 miles per hour. Enthusiasm. This means that you are eager and happy. 85 is forward thinking. You have a positive expectation and a belief in yourself. And just, you know, again, write these down. If you're feeling these emotions, write them down. Optimism. You know, right now you're feeling extremely optimistic. Hopefulness. 75, you are hopeful. That's the main vibration you're projecting. 70 is contentment. You're content where you are. You're not really looking forward. You're just kind of coasting where you are right now, and not really sure where to go next. But you're happy where you are. Okay, now we're starting to go down after this next one. 65 miles per hour is boredom. So you are not really happy or bored with where you are right now. Now we're getting even lower. We're getting into the negative vibrations. Pessimism. You have negativity, sarcasm right now, or maybe it's a woe is me attitude. You know, you feel like everything just keeps hitting you at once. That's the pessimist. You are vibrating at a level 60. 55 is frustration. You're irritated. You're impatient right now. 50, you're overwhelmed. If you're feeling overwhelmed, you've just got so much going on in your life, you've got that overwhelming sensation. If that seems to be the predominant thought in your life, you're not maybe getting enough sleep, you're not able to accomplish all the tasks that you want, that will generate a feeling of overwhelmness. 45, disappointed. So now you've gone even lower. Now you are disappointed in where you are in life. You're disappointed in how things are turning out for you right now. 40, doubt. You doubt that things are going to work out for you. You doubt that this business works. You doubt that you'll have a job tomorrow. You know, whatever it is, you doubt that you'll have a marriage tomorrow. Whatever it is, if that's your predominant thought right now, write that one down. 35, worry. Now you've gotten even worse. Now you're really worried about it. Before you doubted, now you're worried that it's actually going to happen, that those negative things are about to happen. 30, now you're just getting kind of mad, right? You're blaming others for the situation you're in. You're blaming your childhood, how you were raised. You're blaming your financial situation. You're blaming your spouse. You're blaming your friends. You're blaming your sponsor. You're blaming your coach, your mentor, your boss. If you're at level 30, you are pretty low on the spectrum, and the blame is an area that you don't want to stay for very long, because if you do, that'll lead you to discouragement. And that's level 25. You're discouraged with everything that's happening in your life. Now you're going deeper. From discouragement goes anger. You're angry at what's going on. You're angry at the level of success that you have not achieved. Okay? And if you go deeper from anger, now you're ready to get revenge. You are so angry that you want to take it out on somebody, someone, something. It may just mean throwing something, but you want to seek revenge for the pain that you're feeling. 10, now you have really dug deep. You are now at the hatred level. You are raging. You're not happy with your life at all at this point, and that's your predominant thought. If you go deeper than that, you get to the root of the problem, and that's jealousy. You're jealous of other people and what they have, and that you don't have it yet. And that's often what causes some of those other things, or what allows you to feel those things. It stems from this vibration right here. Now we get all the way to 0. 0 is guilt. You feel guilty about what's happened. You feel guilty about your anger, resentment. You have a sense of insecurity. You are constantly feeling that insecurity or unworthiness in your life. And there is actually one more. You can even be at -5, and that's rolling backwards in your life. If you vibrate this on a constant level, you are actually going backwards in your business and success, and that is fear. If you are living in a state of fear, fear that you won't succeed, fear that you will succeed, fear that your marriage won't last, fear that you'll lose your job, fear that you won't be a good parent, fear that you'll lose a friend. If you're feeling that all the time and it's your predominant thought, then you are in a state of grief, you are depressed, you're despaired, and you're feeling powerlessness. You don't feel like there's a way out, and so you are rolling backwards. This is the opposite of the 100 vibration. Okay, this is all the way at the end of the spectrum. This is where you do not want to stay. Okay, and where you want to get to is bliss. That's level 100. This was the slide I thought was at the beginning. So you want to get to the feeling of bliss, blissfulness, joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, appreciation, feeling this as much as you possibly can, as often as you can, as your predominant thought. So now the big question is, okay, this is great. I know where I am now, and you should know, after me going through this list, you should know where you are on the spectrum and realize you don't have to stay there, okay? We all dip into different vibrations at one point or another in our lives, and even during our day. The key, though, is to get your predominant thought, your predominant feeling as high as possible, and ideally to bliss. And I want you to realize it's not, sometimes for some people, I'm not going to say it's for everyone, because some people can go boom right there once they realize that they are, at a lower end of the spectrum. They can turn it on and refocus their thoughts to bliss almost immediately. But there are others who need more mindset work, and maybe that's you. Maybe you have a really hard time getting out of the low end of the spectrum, and that you stay there much longer than you care to admit. And for you guys that feel that way, then I want to give you some tips on how you can get to bliss much quicker, and why you want to get there, because it's so important to get there. And so hopefully this will help you. I mean, that's really my goal today, is to provide you with some value that's going to help you and your life. All right, so here's how you turn things around. So I said I'd give you 3 ways to turn things around, and I want to tell you, I like to over deliver. So I'm actually going to give you 6 ways to turn things around because as I was thinking about it, I decided today that you really needed to know a few more things. So, all right, so the first thing, when you realize that you are at the low end of the spectrum, so that would be, I would say level 70 and below, that when you realize that you're there, you need to say this to yourself or out loud, cancel that negative thought. If you start saying that to yourself, and I even say it out loud sometimes and people look at me funny, but I don't care. When you say cancel that thought, you are now refocusing to a positive thing. And you don't want to dwell in a negative spot, in a negative space. If you stay there for too long, your vibration is going to keep going down. Okay? I know it's easier said than done for some of you, but when you start being aware of your thoughts, that's really the first step, is to be aware of your thoughts. And that's what the whole vibration calibration test was all about. Once you're aware, you can start changing your thoughts. And whether you believe it or not, you have control of your thoughts. You can control them, but you have to focus on them in order to control them. And you can actually turn your entire life around just by focusing on your thoughts and changing those thoughts into something more positive. Okay, so cancel the negative thought. The second thing you need to do is replace it with a positive affirmation. So I want to give you an example. So instead of saying, and this is one a lot of people have, is instead of saying, gosh, I'm so fat, I wish I was more slender, those are negative thoughts, okay, because you're reaffirming your weight. Instead of saying it that way, reframe your thought to one that's more positive. So you might say, I can't wait until I can fit into those jeans that are in my closet. Or you might say, I can't wait to make more positive choices today and go for a walk or get some exercise today. Or I'm looking forward to being thin, and I can see that happening very soon because I'm working on my diet and exercise. So you're focusing on it happening, on the positive things happening, instead of the negative thought that you can't change it, that you are that way, and that nobody likes you, or that your spouse thinks that you're overweight, or whatever it is. So when you cancel that thought and replace it with a positive, it's going to change your whole vibration, because now you are literally exuding a more positive attitude. So the third thing that you do is you meditate on that positive affirmation. So a meditation doesn't have to be this long drawn out thing. It can be just a few seconds in which, if you want to, you can close your eyes and just focus on it. And in the example I gave, you might just say, I am thin, I am beautiful. Or if you're a man, you might say, I am thin, I am handsome. Whatever it is. And I know it sounds kind of conceited, but the truth is, if you don't compliment yourself, nobody else will. So you have to be okay with yourself, and you have to say things to yourself that are more positive, because I know how we are, all of us as human beings. So easy for us to go into that negative spiral of thoughts. It's much, much harder for us to focus on our positive traits than it is our negative. So I challenge you to do that on a regular basis. All right, so I promised you I would give you 3 more on how you can turn things around. But those 3 that I just gave you right here on my screen are probably some of the most important ones that could literally start changing things for you and drawing more success into your life. All right, here's the next 3. The 4th one is seek out your purpose. Now, some of you may be saying, you know what? I don't really know what my purpose is on this earth right now. Well, I'll give you a hint. You ever heard somebody say, follow your bliss? I'm sure you have. And isn't it interesting that they say, follow your bliss? Because bliss is the highest vibration. That's the highest level you could possibly reach. So think about what makes you happy. Okay, it can be anything. When you notice moments of happiness in your life, start writing them down if you don't know what your purpose is. Keep a journal with you, or type it up on your phone and say, I was really happy today when I took so and so out to lunch, or I was really happy today when I got to work with this person and help them overcome a problem. So whatever it is, start looking for trends in your purpose. If you start seeing regular things occurring that you enjoy doing and makes you happy, then perhaps you can determine that there's a business that you could do, or there's a life calling that you could do that encompasses those things that help you follow your bliss. Okay? All right, so the fifth one, write down steps as goals. So once you know what your purpose is and where you'd like to go with your life, then write down some steps that you can do. And it can be as simple as 2 or 3 steps that you can do right now or today to start getting you in that direction. I'll give you an example. If you are not happy in your job, maybe you work for somebody else and it's not even close to being, leading you to your bliss, then perhaps you should consider looking for a different opportunity, be it another job. If that's, if that's something that you like to do, is to work for somebody else, then look for something new. That's something you can do as an action step. If you would rather have your own business that's based around your own passions, then look for opportunities that are based on that. And I will tell you that I do work with people like yourself who perhaps are interested in building a business around their passions. And if that's you, if you're looking for a way to do that, I do offer a 30-minute free coaching, and I also offer long-term coaching for whatever you need depending on your goals. And then I also have a business in which I work with people just like you who are looking for an internet-based business that gives them time and potentially financial freedom so that they can pursue their passions. And I'll be happy to speak with you on that. Just reach out to me. You'll see some buttons below this video. You can click on those and get connected to me. And I do take this serious. This is my bliss. This is my purpose, is to help others like you to find their bliss. Okay? And the last one is to focus on mindset. One of the things I learned from successful people is that 80% of their success is based on their mindset. Now, their mindset is that their attitude. It's how they view the world. It's, it may seem like rose-colored glasses, but it's a positive, very focused, blissful mindset. They focus on that 80% of the time. The other 20% of the time is taking action. So they're, following steps, they're taking daily action towards their goals and towards achieving more bliss into their lives. So if you're not focusing on self-development and self-improvement and things like that, you really should be. Because if you're not growing, then you're definitely not going to be doing well as far as success. Successful people are constantly learning and growing. And I challenge you to start reading more or listening to audio, or if you're looking for a great way to get some great mindset audios, reach out to me. We do have something called the Inner Circle, which are a series of mindset audios that are updated, every week, I believe. And you can listen to those. They're average about 30 minutes to an hour long. And I listen to those in the morning when I'm shuttling my kids to school. And what's really great is it gets me in the proper mindset to start my day, so that I am projecting a high vibration anytime I'm working with somebody. And that's so important if you're out working with other people. And it's important even if you don't work with other people, actually, because you're projecting that in your words. If you're typing, you're projecting that and you don't even realize it. All right. So, this is my note to flip my presentation over. So let me do that. All right, I hope you're all with me. I hope that you found value in what I just walked through with you. What I want to do now is I want you to remember something, and this might just help you when you are looking at yourself. I want you to remember that you are free. Okay? You are free to be whoever you want to be, to do whatever it is that you want to do and live out your purpose. You are also powerful. You were born with all the skills necessary to be successful. Okay? Every experience in your life, good or bad actually, has helped to lead you to this point in your life. So you are here for a purpose. And whether you believe that or not, you would not be alive if your purpose was fulfilled. So until you pass on to the other side, or whatever you believe happens when we die, your purpose is not fulfilled until that happens. So keep thinking about good things. You are good, and you are love. You are meant to share love, share kindness with all those around you. You're not meant for hate. You're not meant for fear. You're meant for love. You're also valued. Okay? Doesn't matter where you came from, what's happened to you in your life. It doesn't matter those things. It doesn't matter if you've made what you consider mistakes. I don't believe there's any mistakes. I think that God, or whoever you believe in, those things happen for a reason, because of your purpose. So remember, you are valued, you are beautiful, and you have a purpose, okay? And all is well. If you can remember those things, then you will start focusing more on the positive. So, and one last thing I want to leave you with before we close today's hangout is, don't measure your journey and your speed to success with somebody else. You may see somebody who, they just started a business and they're already, or it appears like they're already having success. You don't know their backstory. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You don't know, how much they may have struggled before. And so don't compare. Your own purpose may follow a different path than theirs. In fact, I'm sure of it. And the way that I like to think of it is, you're like an arrow that's being pulled back. And the farther and more powerfully you're pulled back, the more powerfully you will fly towards your target. Okay? So think about that. Isn't that cool? Isn't that a neat way to think about your life? If you're struggling, or maybe things aren't taking off as fast as you'd like, it's probably because your purpose is so big, it's so huge, it's so powerful, it's so wonderful, that you have to have a little more preparation before you fly forward into your purpose and achieve the level of success that you believe that you would like to have in your life. Okay? So I hope this has helped you. Again, my goal is to provide you great value. And if you got value out of this, please comment down below. And of course, if you have ideas for future topics, let me know, and we'll be happy to share those with you and host another hangout based on that. All right, make it a great day. Have a great week. See you next week on the Down and Dirty at 1:30. Bye.